Carter Pants, holy smokes, man, with 1,000 bits. Says, hey, B, keep it up. Love in your face. Thanks, man. I'll be trying to do a little bit of streaming over here on Twitch. It won't be during the normal Chris time hours. But like, if you guys saw Chris's message today, note that he this is his source of revenue. Like, y'all's support here on Twitch is like a big key of what he does. And so like, he's basically taking it on 1 month unpaid. And, you know, like, we don't, you know, like, I'm thankful for all the support that y'all do over here on Twitch, but note the last 2 months, like after the Endwalker hype, like that generally is like, yeah, it's pretty like, oh, that's that's what normally the Twitch brings in. So it's like, all right, dude. Woo. That's what I'm like, everybody's like, you want to go full time? I'm like, I see how much money work the game brings in. I'm like, hell no.
Oof. That's one thing is, yeah, it's a bit scary to go full time, but if you're going to be like, no, I'm doing it, then the only thing you can do is go all in, or
yeah,
I mean, it doesn't work.
It doesn't. I don't think it works. I don't think there's that, like, it works with half put in, like, in that regards, because I think you got to be afraid, you know, in that regards, right? Like that fear of like, oh shit, this is all there is. Gotta hustle.
Yeah. That was one thing. It's not exactly the same because your hard work does equate to the money you make in like my industry. Like when you're working more off of like finder's fees or commission is one thing that it's not that I can't do it. I just find it so mind-numbing boring. Like, you know, working at either an office job or like a clock-in type job.
Yeah.
So when I got into like the insurance industry and started working off of, you know, commission and like finder's fee stuff, then you're like, okay, well then, you know, you made sure you always had a reason to get up every single day, because, you know, if you don't go out and make money today, you don't make any money, which means you don't eat, you don't pay the, you know, just it all just starts snowballing. Now, eventually, it does get to the point to where it is kind of similar to the streaming world, because you have a whole bunch of clients, you're managing their accounts, and as long as you do right by them, then you technically are getting a lot of passive income. But you have to
work, you have to earn that.
Yeah, you have to put in the hours, but then it's not even just that. You have to maintain, you have to stay up to date with, you know, everything that's happening within your industry throughout the year, and then relaying that to your clients, you know, when it's necessary.
Come on, Brian. I had a dead rights. Yeah, I hear you.
Battle is still close.
The thing that Carter Prince is, like a software architect like me, your days are fluid, and I do agree with that. That's actually one of the things I also talk with Julie about. It's like sometimes like you have it and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're in the zone and you can just get stuff done, and sometimes you can't. And it's like one of the things about being in the, it's like a creative scientific thing, because like you got to sometimes be like, all right, like
You captured Zone B.
I can sit here and work for you, but I'm gonna actually be more valuable in about 2 hours after I have a nap.
Yeah. Well,
That's one reason why I do think there is a lot of truth to where if businesses that take the time to actually have proper breaks and vacation and stuff for their employees, they find out they have a lot better production and all that.
Yeah.
So it's just something you don't see as much over here.
Oh, I mean, we're like America in that regards is focused, hyper focused on productivity. And the thing that like I would always kind of tell people is like at the end of the day, like you got to focus in on you. Like the company that says they're a family, that's a marketing line like that, you know, like I can't fire my brother, you know, it's like, but you can get laid off and down and bad, and times will be good and bad. Like I see a lot. That's one of the things about doing, like, actually, like this, my mother-in-law texted me today, said congratulations, and I was like, I briefly saw it and I was like, huh? And she shared with me like a post from 5 years ago, a memory that popped on her Facebook when I went independent, started my own company and became an independent software engineer. And it's like, I've been doing this for 5 years now. It's like, that's wild. And it's like, one of the things that, you know, that I've definitely learned is like you were talking about insurance, like it's like there's a level of like, you know, I remember being laid off and like, you know, by one of these companies, and you know, it's like all the promises and all this stuff, like that's just like all this fluff and talk, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But one of the things about being independent, it's like, yeah, like like I'm just here to do this. I'm doing this job, and if we want to keep continuing, like we'll keep going. And it takes a lot of work to build up a client list and a reputation like that. But eventually you have it, and it's like, oh man, like there's more. I feel more secure in my position that 5 years later than I did, 5 years ago. Oh man, I didn't see him. But yeah, like so my idea is that, like, because Julie and I sometimes talk about it, and she was like, oh, it would be more secure for us if you were a W-2 employee. I was like, I don't know. Like, there's some levels of value that come from that, but at the end of the day, like, maybe not. Like, I can't say for certain one way or the other.
Oh, I fully get it that there's some people that they just feel much more comfortable having like a static paycheck.
Oh yeah, I get like this
the
is what I'm.
The hours they put in.
This is what I make versus any, like I can because I don't like every month it's like, oh okay, this is what we did. Oh okay, well let's go ahead, and that's why we have what we have as a kind of a sinking funds of, okay, we know we want to do this, and then so it's like, oh okay, we were able to do that this month because I was able to get an extra contract or two, Yeah, and some of those, yeah, like there's no, from a coding perspective, it's like sometimes I'm like, man, I got so much done, and then sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, why am I still on this problem? It's like like the brain works how the brain works.
Yeah, I get that. I used to study electrical engineering. Man, some of the coding assignments was hard. I had.
But yeah, I've gotten that to where even now when I was doing that, some of our
Double down together.
our friends, would be talking about stuff, and they're like, wait, you didn't make any money today? Does that not worry you? And I'm just like, well, no. Sometimes in the business you have those days, but I know my average is, on a month, that I'm a more than good enough agent that you'll make it up in another thing, and then, the next week, you find more people that you can do a lot more with them, and then all is well again and all that stuff. So, like,
yeah, I hear you. Like, there's days where I'm like, and Julie's like, you worked a lot today. I didn't get paid today. Did not get paid today, but I did definitely do a lot of work. A lot of that's the hard part. That's it's like, okay, I got to go do the taxes, and I got to meet with this guy, and
keep the pressure on.
Yeah. Well, that's why I put a lot more focus on keeping up with my knowledge than I did worrying about,
yeah, what did I learn today?
Of applications in my thing, because I knew that, the more I stay up to date, the more, knowledge that I have, that it's all going to be used at some point, and which in turn translates to getting more money.
Oh, I thought I had him. Yeah. That's why it's like, if there's days where it's just like, I always try to learn something every day,
3 minutes.
That's actually the thing I enjoy the most about the work. It's like, there's always something to learn. So I've been really getting into Linux this last month. That's fascinating stuff, because it's like I've used it, I've known it, but it's like now I'm like, I gotta know it.
Yeah.
I gotta know it. I gotta know it. Sorry. Know it.
Well, no, it was actually like last week. I watch a lot of Bellular's videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a thing on Linux, but I hadn't really thought about Linux in forever.
Dude, it runs the cloud. Like, it runs cloud compute.
Well, I get that, but I remember just, back when, Windows and Linux, were going at it, on which one's the better operating system and all that. Just like, yeah, Linux had the more open source thing, but always had the bad stigma. It's like, yeah, it's because this is the operating system that all the hackers use and everything, which makes it easier for them to do what they're doing, but also makes it easier for them to break into your stuff. So I was wondering, like, over the years, what has Linux done to
Shut the
like
enemy
get
down.
out of that stigma or
Marketing.
whatnot. Like,
Marketing.
well, I get marketing, but like, is the operating system, is it just as quote unquote bad as it was then?
No.
Or
And also,
or
like,
better?
Windows 11 is more based off of Linux than anything else. So essentially what it ends up being is, like, I think the open source nature of it and then how it actually handles its memory over Windows is much more advantageous to where we're going from a software industry perspective. I do want to actually talk to Carter Pants here on one of the things they say is that content creation no way will make up for their salary, especially if they don't enjoy a job but they enjoy content creation. Do it anyway, Carter.
Won't be long now.
Do content creation, because even if you don't I don't foresee a world, and I don't think it's anybody's like responsibility to help me like grow, right? Like, what I do is what I do out of the love that I do it. So understand that. So I don't see a way that like content creation, at least, it's not my goal though. So maybe that's the problem. Will replace like my work, and that's just like I like doing what I do
30
so much
seconds
that I don't
remain.
want it to. But that shouldn't. You don't let don't let the fact that it can't replace your salary at work stop you from doing it, because it gives you actually more power to negotiate at work. So if your bosses are being a dick, you're like, all right, I'm gonna I can quit, because even if it's not replacing your salary, it's still
10
like some
seconds.
income
End.
that might be coming your way. So hopefully, if nothing else, don't
final
talk
push
yourself
and
out of doing
victory is
content
yours.
creation because you're like, oh, it's not gonna
Sound tactics
make money.
bring
It's like,
victory.
I think if you
there
worry
it is.
about trying to make fun videos,
Hey,
everything else will handle itself.
You're a wall
We
around those zones.
yeah.
Take
We
that
did.
iron will
Look at that,
beyond
guys.
the crucible.